Ever heard of a classroom turning into a thrilling escape room? Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Let's embark on a journey to turn your academic space into a hub of fun and learning. Picture a room full of students, their minds buzzing as they work together to decode a clue tied to a lesson on ratios and rates. This, my friends, is the magic of escape room puzzles in the classroom. Not only does it bring a sense of adventure to lessons, but it also promotes teamwork and problem-solving skills. I recall a class of 7th graders who, in their quest to escape, mastered the concept of ratios far quicker than they would have through traditional teaching methods. Their excitement, their collaboration, their sudden aha moments, it was something to behold. Now, doesn't that make learning math a whole lot more fun? Let's dive into the process of creating these educational escape rooms. Creating an escape room puzzle in your classroom may seem daunting, but it's easier than you think. Let's break it down into clear, actionable steps. The first step is to select a topic. For our example, we're going to use ratios and rates. This topic is a cornerstone of mathematics and provides ample opportunities for engaging puzzles. So we've got our topic. Now what? Next, we dive into the storyline or theme of the puzzle. This is where your creativity gets to shine. Maybe your students are trapped in a mad scientist's lab and need to use their knowledge of ratios and rates to concoct a potion for their escape. Or perhaps they're stranded on an island and must use these skills to ration their supplies and signal for rescue. Whatever your theme, make sure it's something that will intrigue your students and make the learning experience memorable. Now, we move on to the clues. This is the heart of your escape room puzzle. Each clue should be a problem or question related to ratios and rates that, when solved, will lead the students closer to their escape. The clues should be challenging, but not so difficult that they become discouraging. Remember, the goal is to promote teamwork and problem-solving skills, not to stump the students entirely. When designing the clues, consider how they fit into your storyline. If you're going with the mad scientist theme, maybe the clues are formulae scribbled in a lab notebook. If it's the island scenario, the clues could be etched into coconut shells or scrawled on a tattered map. Lastly, arrange the clues in a logical sequence that will guide the students through the puzzle. Each solved clue should lead to the next, creating a chain of discovery that keeps the students engaged and invested in their escape. And voila! You've got the blueprint for your very own classroom escape room puzzle. With a bit of planning and imagination, you can turn a routine lesson on ratios and rates into an exciting adventure that your students won't soon forget. The heart of any escape room puzzle lies in its clues. Let's decipher this mystery. Creating clues for your escape room puzzle is a process that requires creativity, relevance to the lesson, and a keen understanding of your students' abilities. The clues should be crafted in a way that they progressively guide your students towards the escape, while simultaneously reinforcing the lesson objectives. Consider a lesson on ratios and rates. Your first clue could be a simple mathematical problem that requires students to use their understanding of ratios. For instance, you could ask them to figure out the ratio of boys to girls in a fictional classroom of 20 students, where the number of boys is twice the number of girls. The answer to this clue will not only lead them to the next clue, but also help solidify their understanding of ratios. Next, you can create a clue that requires students to apply rates. You could present a scenario where students must calculate the speed of a car that travels a certain distance in a given time. This clue should be slightly more complex than the previous one, increasing the challenge and encouraging students to think critically. Now that the students have solved clues related to ratios and rates separately, you can introduce a clue that combines both concepts. For instance, you could ask them to figure out the cost of apples if 5 apples cost the same as 3 oranges and they know the cost of an orange. This clue will require students to use both their understanding of ratios and rates, and the solution will ultimately lead them closer to their escape. The final clue can be a culmination of all the concepts used so far. Make it challenging yet solvable. Remember, the goal is to promote teamwork and problem solving, not to stump the students completely. For example, you could present a scenario where students need to calculate how many students would be able to go on a field trip if the cost of the trip is shared equally among them, and they know the total cost and the cost per student. This clue will require them to use their understanding of ratios, rates, and the concept of division, and solving it will lead them to their much-anticipated escape. Creating clues for an escape room puzzle is an art. The clues should be engaging, challenging, and directly related to the lesson's objectives. They should require students to think critically, work together, and use their problem-solving skills. The progression of the clues should be such that they start from a basic level and gradually increase in complexity, ensuring that students are constantly learning and reinforcing their understanding of the lesson. Remember, the clues are the connecting dots of your escape room puzzle. Make them count. With the puzzle and clues ready, it's time to transform your classroom into an exciting escape room. Setting up the classroom for an escape room activity is not just about placing clues around. It's about creating an immersive, engaging environment that supports the storyline or theme of the puzzle. This environment should stimulate curiosity and encourage students to delve into the mystery. To start, it's crucial to establish a theme that ties in with the subject matter. In our case, we're looking at ratios and rates. So consider a theme that can naturally incorporate these mathematical concepts. Maybe a treasure hunt where the treasures are hidden based on specific ratios, or a spaceship that can only be navigated using correct rates. The theme will set the tone for the entire escape room experience. Next, think about how to make the classroom setting align with your theme. A little creativity can go a long way here. For a treasure hunt, a simple map drawn on the chalkboard could serve as a crucial clue. For a spaceship, desks could be rearranged to mimic the layout of a ship, with clues hidden in control panels made from textbooks. Your everyday classroom objects can play significant roles in the puzzle. A clock could be used as a timer, a pile of books could hide a clue, or a poster on the wall could hold the key to the next step. The trick is to see your classroom through the lens of your escape room theme and identify potential props that could be used. Remember, the goal is to create an environment that supports the learning objectives, engages students, and makes the learning process fun and interactive. Don't be afraid to think outside the box and use unconventional methods. After all, teaching is about making the complex simple and the mundane interesting. And there you have it. With your theme, classroom setup, and everyday objects turned into exciting puzzle pieces, you're ready to create an unforgettable learning experience. The classroom is more than just a space for learning. It's a stage for adventure, discovery, and growth. Now you're all set to bring the escape room puzzle to life in your classroom. The stage is set, the players are ready, let the games begin. Now, let's talk about the actual execution of the escape room puzzle activity in the classroom. This is where the rubber meets the road, where all your preparation comes to life. As the educator, your role is pivotal, yet subtle. You're the guide on the side, not the sage on the stage. Your mission is to facilitate, not dictate. So how do you strike that delicate balance? First, start with a brief introduction to set the stage and explain the rules. Remember, the goal isn't just to solve the puzzle, but to learn about ratios and rates in the process. Encourage your students to focus on the journey, not just the destination. Next, release your students into the escape room and let them explore. As they start to engage with the puzzles, keep a watchful eye. Be present, but not intrusive. Allow your students the freedom to experiment, make mistakes, and learn from them. This is where the real learning happens. However, there will be times when your students might hit a roadblock. They might feel stuck and frustrated. In such situations, resist the temptation to give away the answers. Instead, ask leading questions that can nudge them in the right direction. Remember, the goal is to promote problem-solving skills, not just to solve the puzzles. Time management is another crucial aspect of this activity. Ensure that the pace is challenging yet achievable. Keep track of the time and give subtle reminders to maintain the suspense and excitement. Finally, once the activity is over, don't just pack up and move on. Take some time to debrief. Discuss the puzzles, the clues, and the solutions. Encourage your students to share their experiences, their struggles, and their triumphs. This reflection is an essential part of the learning process. There you have it, a fascinating escape room puzzle that takes learning ratios and rates to a whole new level. Let's do a quick recap of what we've covered today. We've delved into the magic of escape room puzzles and how they can transform your classroom into an exciting learning environment. These puzzles promote teamwork and problem-solving skills, providing an engaging way to teach subjects like mathematics. In breaking down the creation of an escape room puzzle, we've explored the importance of clue creation. These clues, when carefully crafted, can lead students to solve problems related to the lesson, in this case, ratios and rates. We've also discussed how to prepare your classroom for this interactive learning experience. The preparation is as crucial as the execution, ensuring that students can fully immerse themselves in the activity. And finally, we've walked through the execution and wrap-up, showing how to guide your students through the puzzle and then debrief with them after. So go ahead, give your students an unforgettable learning experience with an escape room puzzle.